us on another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, will you go away? It won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys. It is Old Man G, RDS here, back again with two actually Friday night shows, actually. I was supposed to go live yesterday with the Weghorst deal. Unfortunately, I was caught up with work, amongst other things. So I wanted to have just a brief discussion about Weghorst. This is a live discussion. If you want to come on, have a discussion about the Weghorst deal, the link is in the description. But if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, X, and smash the notification button. Latest Manchester United news. Just a few things, a few housewarming things. The first thing is that we are going to be doing a watch long for the Manchester derby. That is going to be on. I'm going to do an experiment, and I'm going to be doing a watch long on YouTube and Twitch. Where I'll be doing a Manchester United versus City watch long on YouTube and Twitch tomorrow from the kickoff. So just bear that in mind. And then we're obviously doing the preview, which Patrick, the Man City fan, is going to be. So as soon as this show is over, and it will be probably no more than an hour, we're going to head over for 9:30. So stay on the stream. It'll be redirected, and we'll be going into the match review, United versus City match review. That's the big thing from 9:30 BST. So stay involved for that. So that's just the base of the housekeeping stuff. There's a lot of other stuff going on. We want to talk about the reports coming out about the sale for Manchester United. That will probably be later this weekend. And then we will do after the Arsenal game, I think next week, we'll probably be doing some sort of a mid-season preview, get people on to discuss that. So a lot of stuff planned for the channel. So I know this is late, but yeah, let's get into it. So let's start with the thing. Obviously, Weghorst, the deal was obviously confirmed like quite a while back, and this is obviously a bit to his tweet, unfortunately, Ten Hag, as you can see in his tweet, has said we're close to signing with Weghorst, but he won't be available for the Manchester derby, which I don't really quite understand. I don't know why. I don't know why he couldn't be registered. I really don't. It doesn't. It seems odd to me. I'm surprised he couldn't have been registered, but it is what it is. But this for me is I know there's a lot of people banter signing it and saying, oh, ha 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 ha, you guys have got Weghorst, like what's the, banter FC, that type of thing, although he did score a brace against Argentina World Cup, he dunked on Messi's Argentina, as it were, and if it wasn't for Emi Martinez, Argentina would have had a bye-bye, as it were, fairly quickly in the group stages. So there is a player there, obviously on loan from Berlin to Beşiktaş. He was playing for Beşiktaş, and then United, obviously the Dutch connection with Ten Hag contacted him, and so Beşiktaş have received around about 2.5 million euros in compensation for Weghorst, and he will join United for the rest of the season on a 6-month deal and what have you. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is for what United need, because you've got to obviously bear in mind that Manchester United did not have a Ronaldo's gone, obviously, and then you add on to that the fact that the injuries, Martial, the fact that we still haven't really replaced likes of Lingard or Mata or Cavani for that matter. So Manchester United really do need need more signings. Weghorst is good as a loan. We can obviously see what happens. He is, I think he's in his early 30s, so I wouldn't be thinking about making it permanent or anything like that. But I do think that I do think that it's at the end of the day, it's filler. It's filler. That's what it is. It's filler. It is filler. It's filler. It's filler. And we need a striker at the end of the day. You know, I'm already looking at, I think Fabrizio Romano tweeted earlier that Lisandro Trossard is going to be available. You know, Lisandro Trossard is going to be available. You know, so you know, Brighton are saying, I think they had a clash with the manager. He wants to leave. So now I'm in a situation where, wow, Trossard might actually be available. You know, can United push for Trossard? You know, I'm sure Chelsea are going to be in for players, you know, so that would be Trossard's the type of player. I'm not saying he's world class, but I mean, you know, he'd certainly be a good, given the fact that Sancho, I don't know what's going on with him still. Martial's injury prone. You know, Alanga, I think probably needs a loan, in my personal opinion. You know, okay, yes, you've got Palestri and Ahmed on loan, so but you could potentially bring in a Trossard to do something. I don't really know. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think this is like fundamental for me. I think this is a good signing for Manchester United. I don't want to say a good signing, a safe signing for Manchester United. That's what I'll say. It is a safe signing for Manchester United because at the end of the day, I've said several times before that the biggest issue Manchester United going this season. That's why I still stand by the fact that I don't think that Manchester United are going to finish top 4. I don't think Manchester United are going to finish top 4, unfortunately, and that's simply because, you know, injuries. I don't think Manchester United will make top 4 for the simple fact that, you know, we even from Ten Hag's, and I'll talk a little bit about that within the preview when Patrick comes on, which should be about 9:30 BST. Stay tuned for that. Make sure you like the vid. But the big issue is that the injuries are going to pile up. We have too many games because remember, Manchester United are one of the few teams that are still in 4 competitions: in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup, obviously competing for a league in quotes, and in the Europa League, which is going to be on Thursday. I'm still surprised we've only made 1 signing. I don't think people say, "Oh, we have two teams." What are the 2 teams? Like, if you could field 2 starting 11s, what would they be? 2 separate starting 11s, what they would be? I mean, I guess, you know, you could put the B starting 11 would probably be right now based on fitness would be Tom Heaton, Lindelof and Maguire, although that's variable but depending on how fit Varane ends up being. Malacia at left back. You know, right back has got to be Wan-Bissaka for first and second team because he's injured. I don't think there's any point really in playing Brandon Williams, in my personal opinion. I guess you can play Freddie McTominay in the midfield. And then again, you said we only have 5 midfielders, so you're going to have to play Bruno. Maybe you can, I guess, play Zidane Iqbal if you want to think about bringing youth. And then as far as the forwards are concerned, in terms of availability, again, what is the, you know, Martial looks like he might be injured again. Again, we'll talk about that later. So you only have Anthony, Rashford, and Garnacho. So the B team, you've got Alanga, and that's it, you know. So unless you're going to be starting to dig into youth and bring those youth players in, United don't really have a full B team. They don't. Like, they really don't, and it's a problem. So I love the Weghorst. I don't want to say I love the Weghorst. I think the Weghorst go is due. We needed it. We needed to sign a striker. We need to sign a number 9 in the transfer window. But at the end of the day, United need more. And United need more. And this is kind of what the topic is. This is kind of, it's obviously interactive, but it's also the point of the show really is, yes, we're going to talk a bit about Weghorst, but really, the point of this is really to talk about the fact that United need more transfers. There is 2 more weeks, because the deadline is obviously the 31st. So there's just over 2 more weeks to get more signings. There's just only 2 more weeks to get signings, and we need more signings. We need more signings. It's as simple as that. Manchester United need more signings. Otherwise, if I'm honest, guys, I don't know whether United get top 4. I know that might freak people out. It's like, oh, how do you think that Manchester United won't get top 4? How? Of course Manchester United will get 4. Of course. Of course they will. Will they though? Will they? Will Manchester United get top 4? Because all it takes is an injury to Casemiro, all it takes is an injury to Rashford, etc., and suddenly the team's got a crisis. Whatever I say about Chelsea, and I love bantering Chelsea, at the end of the day, they are in a massive injury crisis. Losing Reece James, losing Pulisic, losing all these things. Of course. What can you do? You know what I mean? So I think that at the end of the day, at the end of the day, sorry guys, at the end of the day, I'm at the stage right now, guys, where beggars can't actually be choosers. Beggars literally cannot be choosers. Like, United need bodies. United need bodies at the end of the day. United need loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of bodies. That's what Manchester United need. I know. I don't really know how else I can describe it, because if we don't get them at the end of the day, we're going to suffer. Is my personal opinion. United will suffer if they don't get the. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. United will suffer if they don't get more bodies in. That's what I'm saying. Right, a little bit more about Wout Weghorst. So obviously, for those who don't know about him, Wout Weghorst is currently obviously on loan at Beşiktaş. He actually had 16 appearances and 8 goals. Okay, so Beşiktaş, obviously the Turkish league. He's actually 30 years old. Obviously, he plays for the Netherlands. He, like I said, he's on Beşiktaş on loan in Turkey right now. 16 appearances, 8 goals. He was on loan from Burnley. Right now, he's only had 20. He had 20 appearances for Burnley and 2 goals. Obviously, got relegated. Before that, he played for Wolfsburg in Germany. 118 appearances, 59 goals. So it's pretty much a goal every other game. So 1 goal every 2 games. And obviously, he played for AZ, which had 60 appearances, 30 goals. So the Burnley situation flopped. Now, that doesn't mean, if you look at it, if you look at the teams, his performance for AZ, for Wolfsburg, and for Beşiktaş, he pretty much averages a goal every other game. But Burnley, that just didn't happen. So is that more on Burnley than it actually is on routes, basically? The only guy has 2 W's in his name. Speaking of which, if there's any Chelsea fans watching, I dare Weghorst to score more goals than Aubameyang this season. Just putting that out there. If Weghorst scores more goals than Aubameyang has all season, given the fact that you paid 15 million for the guy and we paid 2 million for 6 months, it's banter. It really is banter. So I'd stay tuned to that. But yeah, because a lot of people are bantering Weghorst, saying he can't do anything, saying it's enough, like it's just. But when I look at it, people are only focusing on his appearance of Burnley. But at the end of the day, like for AZ, for Wolfsburg, and for Beşiktaş, he's been averaging a goal per game. So, and those teams are far more expressive, create far more chance than Burnley is. Burnley is it was anyway, a Brexit team, and I assume he spent most of his time playing under Sean Dyche before Burnley got relegated from the Premier League last season. Now, obviously, Vincent Kompany's there. Maybe obviously they can come back and do. He can come back and do a business. I don't know. We'll see. Shout out to 80 in the chat, man. Thank you for joining me, man. Really, really appreciate it. It really, really goes a long way, to be honest. It really, really does. Thank you. And also stay tuned for the preview. Me and Patrick are going to be doing it on this channel as well. It means a lot. But yeah. So obviously he is a Netherlands international. I'd say that if you're going to compare Weghorst to anybody, it's probably like a Dzeko. Like a Dzeko type player is the player that I'd probably compare a Weghorst to. And I think that, United at least have a bit more creativity in their team now, with how good Casemiro is. Casemiro creates, Eriksen can create, Bruno to a certain degree can create, and so on. So we have creators in our squad, maybe not so much our fullbacks. I still need to see more about what Malacia and Wan-Bissaka can do in terms of creation, but certainly we have a more, in quote, creative midfielders, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, that they can do things. And I think that if those players can actually start to create for Weghorst, then I think you'll start to see more. You'll see a good Weghorst. The thing I'm looking forward to the most, if I'm perfectly honest, is the fact that this guy, Weghorst, he people just think that he's a not kick and run, but like a long ball merchant. But actually, Weghorst, he can actually press. So I think that, especially if Martial is out, we're gonna have like someone who can really press, which is what Ten Hag will want. Working alongside obviously Marcus Rashford, who can obviously supply him. But also a player that obviously being, 6 foot, he must be more than 6'6", 7" or something like that, can obviously bully defenders. And that's the type of player that I think that Manchester United have missed a lot. As much as people diss Lukaku, I like the fact that Lukaku could just bully defenders. I like that. I like the fact that he could just bully defenders, because for me, number nines, you have your, what I would call, intelligent number nines. So those are your Cavani's that know how to get into space and know what to do there. Those to me, you're in like intelligent number nines. Cavani was a really, really intelligent number nine. It was like, whoa, this is how a number 9 is supposed to play. And we've actually, United have been starved of an actual, and Martial and Rashford are not number 9s. They're not. They'll score goals, but they're not number 9s. United need a number 9, and we haven't had a number 9 for years. We just had makeshifts, Ronaldo's, Zlatan, Cavani, etc. We need a number 9. But you have your intelligent ones like Cavani, and you have your brutes, your thugs, like Weghorst, like Lukaku, etc. That maybe their touches aren't great, but can they hold up on the ball? Can they take out defenders of the game? Are they good in the box? That type of thing, So that for me is more what Weghorst is. AD says, Ardis, I have a 3-team parlay with Fulham beating Chelsea, Forest beating Leicester, United beating City, so I'm forced to root for you guys for the sake of the dollar. Fair enough, AD. Well, shout out to Fulham beating Chelsea. Shout out to that. It's a shame. I think if you're a Chelsea fan, you're thinking, if Chelsea can survive, relegation, that would be good. I think if you're a Chelsea fan, it's like, right, survive relegation, and then we can talk. You know what I mean? Like if we can survive relegation, then we can maybe progress on to other things. As far as Forest beating Leicester, that's possible. If Forest are at home, let me know if Forest are at home, then they'll win. If they're away, it probably will be. It might be a draw. As for United beating City, that's anyone's guess. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it. As far as I'm concerned, it's. But stay tuned. Later, we will be discussing it. So bear that in mind. So yeah, I think that United. I mean, looking at United, the amount of goals that United have scored. Let me have a quick look. Make sure you hit that like button, by the way, guys. Let's have a look. Yeah, so United have scored 27 goals and conceded 20 goals. Now, obviously, a lot of goal difference to 7. Now, obviously, that for me is a bit skewed because most of those goals, if you think about it, was conceded at the beginning of the season. We conceded 4 goals to Brentford, 6 goals to City, and 2 goals to Brighton. So we conceded in the first 3 games. Your City lost, your constituent lost. Your City lost 6 goals. Your Brentford lost 4 goals, and your Brighton lost 12 goals. That is that's more than half of the goals that we've conceded this season. So if you take out Brighton, City, and Brentford, United have only conceded 8 goals since. That's my math. Yeah, 8 goals since, which is pretty good if you think that. Pretty good. Forest at home, yeah. So easy dub, easy dub. Your easy dub if you're Forest. Forest will be, like looking at it. Forest are actually, we're not in Forest actually. Yes, they're 15th. So Leicester, I think, it's a mid-table clash actually because they're on the same number of points, and I think the Forest will probably go ahead of Leicester City, at this rate, unfortunately. But yeah, there's some big clashes this weekend. And unfortunately, Weghorst, if you're tuning in, is not going to be available for the clash against Manchester City. Let's just have a look and see if Fabrizio has tweeted anything. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at my man Fabrizio. Obviously, the Leonardo Trossard. Yeah, there seems to be some issues. Obviously, Van der Beek, for those who know, we'll talk about those injuries in a second, but Van der Beek obviously out for the rest of the season, which is very, very sad. There's news about Trossard and more Trossard. Well, in fact, chat, if United fans, would you take Lisandro Trossard at your club? Let me know. I'll just scroll down because I think there was a fair bit of Weghorst news, Fabrizio news that was done this morning. So just bear with me, everybody. Obviously, I've showed you that he won't be available for the Manchester derby. It says Weghorst signed his contract with Manchester United player. Yeah, a few minutes club statement to follow, which club statement is there. Is there anything else? I think. Yes. Oh, this is important. Yes, we didn't mention it. Understand why, because they will not include buy option clause. Manchester included the signing. Yeah. So that's I think important. There is no buy option clause for Weghorst. It is solely going to be a loan for 6 months, much like the Felix deal. So I mean, of course, I don't think there is any, if Weghorst balls and is so good, I don't think there's going to be any difficulty in getting Weghorst to sign for Manchester United at all. But it's important to clarify that there is no buy option in it. And of course, Dortmund's medicals can sign. So, so it is what it is. This will be a dream for Weghorst, so it's good. Is there anything else? I'll just check about the deal, and also just checking to see if there's any other transfer news related to Manchester United. There's not a lot really, aside from the fact that we know that Danny Welbeck and Donny van der Beek is unfortunately going to be injured for the rest of the season, which leaves us down another midfielder. And what do you say about that? What do you say about that? Well, we're down yet again another midfielder, but yet we're not linked to sign anybody else. It doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think about the Weghorst deal. At the end of the day, I think that if the boot fits, if we can create for him, if he can press, if he can get gelled in with the squad, then this can be potentially a solid signing. And I think if Weghorst can give you, anywhere between 10 to 15 goals in all competitions for the rest of the season, I think that'll be a good loan well spent. 10 to 15 goals. If he can give you that, 10 to 15 goals for the rest of the season, I think that'll be a very good loan move for Weghorst. Because if I look, and I think I'll get this shared up. We'll just have a quick look at the Manchester United fixtures. So hopefully everyone can see that. So these are obviously the Manchester United fixtures here. On a good run, with our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, that was a friendly. These were friendlies. 7, 8. Yeah, last 8 games, because obviously we lost to Villa on the 6th of November. So we could potentially go for 10 in a row. You don't even know if we beat City and Palace. But you look at it, City, it's tomorrow's on Saturday, 12:30. Then following Wednesday, only 3 days, we're away to Crystal Palace. That's always a pain. Then the Sunday, away to the Emirates. So Arsenal's still in London. Then, the following Wednesday, so 3 days break again. You got first leg of Nottingham Forest. Second, the Sunday, you then have Reading. We know we can play a B team for that. And then the following, I think the first is the following Wednesday. That's the second semi-final. We'll still beat Forest because over here, but it's just too many games. 3 more days afterwards, Crystal Palace. Then maybe just over a week suddenly, and you've got the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games are all going to be 3 days apart until Leeds away to United. You know what I mean? Like it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. The Papa John's Cup being 2 legs has always been. Yeah, I don't quite understand why it is. All I can think is that it's just a means to make more money. It is literally just a means to make more money, because why is it for me with legs? You either do that for all stages or none at all. Do that for all stages up until the final or none at all. Don't have a situation where you are doing half and half. So the only stage in a Carabao Cup competition is doing legs is in the semi-final. Makes no sense. The only thing I can think of is it is literally just due to money. It is literally just due to money. Nothing more, nothing less. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Unfortunately, I can't really say anything about that. Like it's just dumb for the Carabao Cup. But that realistically is Manchester United's chance of winning a trophy this season. With City out, Liverpool out, Arsenal out, Chelsea out, everyone out. This is the chance for Manchester United to win a trophy this season. But the reality is, by the time the final comes around, and I assume, again, it could be wrong, but I assume it's going to be United Newcastle final. The reality then, though, guys, is that are the Manchester United players, because we need to field a strong squad to go up against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. So the reality is that will we have a strong enough squad to do that? Now, hopefully speaking, Weghorst will come in, will ball, and then if Weghorst comes in and does this thing, potentially we can now start to rest players. Potentially we can say, right, Weghorst, you start in the number 9 position, you start there, you do your thing, you start in number 9. Rashford can actually be shifted to the left and play where he needs to play. Anthony on the right, or Garnacho, whatever. They can all press, they can all do their thing. And then what you can then do after that is say, cool, okay, now you can bring on a Martial, manage him, or you can start Martial, manage him, and then bring Weghorst in. So we've got a bit more, at least a bit more depth up front now that Weghorst is here. That's why I'm happy about the deal. Whatever people say, like, oh, you're unhappy and blah, 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 Weghorst is banned, so blah, blah. At the end of the day, it's more the fact that it gives us options on the bench. We can rest players. You know, if we hadn't signed Weghorst, Marshall would have been rushed back potentially with whatever injuries now picked up again. Now, after this game, we're like, right, okay, get Weghorst some cheese. He doesn't need to train, he doesn't need to fit. So Weghorst can basically, if you're looking at the fixtures, Weghorst can basically Weghorst should be able to start against Palace on Wednesday. You know, so for me, I would start Martial against. I actually would start even if he's got a knock a bit, although he's not been playing well. I would start Martial against City, knowing that you can rest him against Crystal Palace. If he picks up a knock, okay, fine. He can at least be out until Arsenal the following the weekend. But you can at least, at the very least, you can start Weghorst against Crystal Palace and give Martial some rest. Possibly even Rashford, depending on how things are. You could potentially start Garnacho with Weghorst and Anthony. Who knows? Hopefully speaking, Sancho can come back. I don't know when that will be. But Manchester United need Jadon Sancho to come back. We do. We need Jadon Sancho to come back for Manchester United. So guys, at the end of the day, like, you know, and I know I'm rambling and going on, but at the end of the day, I think this is a very good. I mean, I think let's actually show the Premier League table, see where we are. But I think at the end of the day, I'm content with this deal. And if you look, you know, 35 points, you know, but again, is that enough to secure top 4? Yes, we have one game in hand against Newcastle, but we're playing Manchester City tomorrow. You know, we're playing Manchester City and Arsenal back to Manchester City, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal back to back. If United can somehow win all those games, then I might start to be a bit more relaxed and say, okay, maybe Manchester United can get top 4. You know, I might be like, oh, okay, Manchester United can get top 4. Yeah, they can. Okay, cool. But until that time, nah, I ain't convinced. I ain't convinced as of yet. Because, you know, lose those games, and at the end of the day, you know, Newcastle where they are, City where they are, Spurs are only, yes, they played an additional game, but they are only 2 points behind Manchester United. If we beat them, I mean, the top 5 is going to be interesting tomorrow, just tomorrow anyway, because I think Newcastle have got, if I recall, Newcastle, I think they've got Fulham at home, which if they win, that puts them on 38 points. If you with a game, and obviously played with everybody else. If United beat City, so suddenly United and Newcastle all 1 point behind Manchester City. If United were to beat Manchester City, so there's a lot riding on these games actually. Arsenal likewise. If Spurs somehow manage to beat Arsenal, then, you know, City are only 5 points behind. Newcastle and United are only 6 points behind. Heck, maybe even Spurs are now into it because they'll only be, I think, 8 points behind. You know, so it's an interesting race. The top 4 or 5 right now. Fulham obviously doing very well after that winner. They've played 19 games. I think if you're Liverpool, who are in 7th position, you're thinking, right, we need to get something against Brighton because, you know, although they're 3 points to 2 games, Brighton are coming. You know, Brighton are coming. So it's a very, very competitive season. Who knows? Kamonga, Arthur Romano, shout out to all the best for Manchester United. Yes, all the best for Manchester United. I hope Manchester United win as well. Make sure you stay tuned, guys. Obviously, 20 plus people watching. If you can smash a like on the video, please, and subscribe if you're new. It would go a really, really long way. We're not done here for tonight. This is the first of 2 shows. In about 15 minutes. Yeah, about 15 minutes. Myself and Patrick are going to go live on this channel, and we are going to be doing the United versus City match preview. So please stay tuned to that. The video will redirect to that video. But if you want to be notified, make sure that you smash the notification button smash the notification button, and you will get notified for that city preview, because that city preview is going to be good. My buddy Patrick is going to be on, and it is going to be it's going to be good. We'll be doing a previews, what we think, how I think the game is going to go, and we'll be doing our how we'll discuss what we think the starting 11s are going to be, and then we are going to have a combined debate, combined 11, and then we'll round up. So, but all in all, I am happy with Wout Weghorst, man. And I hope that he will be. I hope there'll be. So if you want an idea for those obviously just coming in, obviously Manchester. See, this always seems to happen. More and more people start as I stream. If I have now, more people start coming. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate everyone in the chat, man. I do. If you have any questions, man, just in fact, let me. Shout out to SMB, man. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. And I put a poll in the chat and saying whether or not you guys think that he would be a good signing for Manchester United. So, but maybe I'll have to do that at another point when he's officially unveiled. But for those obviously coming in late, because you guys are late, for those who are coming in, Manchester United have agreed a loan deal for 6 months with a 2.5 million salary paid to Burnley for Wout Weghorst. He unfortunately will not be available to play against Manchester City, but I suspect that he'll be available to play Palace. And in my personal opinion, I think he should start. He doesn't need training sessions. He should be able to play against Crystal Palace. I think he should actually start against Crystal Palace, and I would actually take the opportunity to either rest Martial, or at the very least. I'd rather Martial play against City, is the point I'm trying to make. I'd rather have Martial play against City with Rashford and either Anthony or Garnacho. Personally, for me, that's what I would do. And with the thought that you can then rest Martial against Crystal Palace and do something like that. You could potentially rest Rashford and Martial if you want to play, Weghorst, Garnacho, and Anthony, and possibly Sancho, depending whether he's back or not. Who knows? For those who just want a bit more about what his style of play actually is, obviously he's 6'6". He mostly plays as a striker, in particular as a target man role. So again, like I said at the start, I like the fact that I feel that you need to have different strikers, different number 9s. And for me, the two number 9s, because I said Rashford and Martial are not number 9s to me. They're just inverted forwards. At best, maybe wingers, but more like inverted forwards. A striker, me, you can either get two. You get your intelligent striker. So for me, like prime Cavani, where you make the intelligent runs, whether your head, foot, whatever, that for me is Ronaldo to a certain extent. Prime Ronaldo as a number 9 was somewhat intelligent as well. Those are your turn strikers. Or you get your conventional target man brute strikers who are good at holding up the ball, who can bully defenders, who are good in the box, aggressive, that type of thing, that you need, especially against teams that play a low block. Whatever I said with Lukaku, the issue with Lukaku was his touch. If Lukaku's touch was better, I would have still had him. You would just need to get creative players around him. You know what I mean? So, but Wout Weghorst seems to be that. And I think that it's great that when, you want to relieve pressure, especially, that's why it's a shame that he's not available for Manchester City, because if he was, you could be like, right, okay, boom, we can now, under pressure, ping the ball up to Weghorst, hold it down, do something, and take things from there, I know this is a Man United show, but RDS Osman is balling right now. 2 goals and 1 assist against Juventus right now. Is it? I thought the Napoli... Crap. I thought the Napoli-Juve game was... damn it. No wonder. I thought the Napoli-Juve game was this... Damn. Sorry, guys. Let's go to the live. I thought the Napoli-Juve game was actually this weekend. That's so annoying. But shout out to Osimhen, man. 4-1. So this is side to strike, but yeah, 4-1. Jeez. It was 2-0, I think, and then Di Maria scored, and then Rahman Osimhen, man. Maybe Osimhen could go hat-trick. So yeah, goodbye, farewell. So long, Avida saying goodbye for things. It's, yeah, jeez. So Napoli might go and do it. I thought Juventus might come back, but yeah, 4-1 being slapped. Yeah, that's game over, man. It's game over. I watched the highlights. Unfortunately, I've got to do the United preview after this. So, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll just quickly finish my So target man, obviously, Weghorst's ability. He's got obviously aerial dominance, being obviously 6'6", which is obviously good, which is useful. His hold up play, so is good. Obviously, people saw what happened against Argentina. The second goal, you saw that. First and second goal, actually. Literally, when Weghorst came, I don't know why Van Gaal lost the game because they didn't start Weghorst. Especially against, that's why, my goodness, he'd been so good against City. Because against short defenders, it's like, right, cross, ping the ball. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything with him. As soon as Weghorst came on, Netherlands were just pinging in balls, and Argentina couldn't do anything about it because he was just dominant. He's also a goal poacher with good reactive finishing in the penalty area, but he can, and this is a key thing, he can drop deep to help link up play. And this is a key stat. This is a key thing. When he was playing for Burnley, Weghorst averaged more pressing per 90 minutes than any other player. This is a key. This is key. In the 2020 when he played for Burnley, he averaged more presses per 90 minutes per any other player. So this guy presses a lot. And we need someone to press from the front. So actually, I'm not saying it's going to be amazing. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but don't just think that Weghorst is a dude who's going to be kick along with no pace. Weghorst can press, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, guys, like I said, stay tuned. We're going to round the show up, but stay tuned because we're going to be heading over to the United versus City match preview. Please stay tuned for that. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm getting Patrick on, and we're going to be doing a United versus City preview. Stay tuned. Just a few comments. Oh, yeah. Usually, tall players don't press much as they don't have the athleticism. I know. Exactly. I thought it was interesting. I didn't know that because he was playing for Burnley. Bearing in mind, Burnley are, of all teams, don't press, don't do anything. So the fact that he had the most best pressing stats than any other player in the league playing for Burnley, imagine when you now play for Manchester United. So fingers crossed he can bring that, but it is very, very interesting. And it'll be because I think if you now, that's why I wish he was available for the City game. But if you now bring that type of player into it and he does press, then I think that United suddenly have a lot more going about them, a lot more initiative going forward because, really, one of the downsides of Renato is that he couldn't do that. He couldn't press, and Ten Hag needed him to press. 5-1. Oh dear! It looks like. Oh dear. I don't even know who some of these Napoli player names. It's a baptism for Napoli. It's a baptism. Right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Stay on the chat. City versus United preview coming. Peace.